The following is an exclusive presentation of Jesup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
Well, good morning to you. You're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO FM in Jesup, 105.5 on your FM dial, Big Dog Country Radio. Here we are, right slap in the middle of the week, Wednesday morning, 7th day of August. Butch Hubbard here with you, along with Bob Morgan. It's now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply on Northeast Broad Street in downtown Jesup, by Nips Car Wash, located on Highway 301 South, just past McDonald's on the left-hand side, and by Sachero's Restaurant, located on West Cherry Street in the Piggly Wiggly Shopping Center. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
You good? Well, we got two sets of guests this morning. School starting tomorrow, so Sheriff John Carter wanted to come in and talk about safety. Bob, go ahead and talk to the sheriff.
Hi, John.
Good morning, Bob and Butch.
Good morning, John.
It's back to school time, and that brings me here. With back to school comes traffic congestion, and that's what I'm asking folks to be careful. You know, you got school buses picking up, dropping off kids. You got kids on bikes. You got kids walking, pedestrians, if you will. You got parents hurrying to drop kids off before work. And then, to me, it's never more important for drivers to slow down, pay attention, avoid distractions than when we got kids present at our school zones and then trying to get back and to from school. But I had a few safety tips here. I heard your guy talk about school buses, your guest yesterday. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, all those things are certainly important. And I've got, of course, I'll cover a little bit of that too. But mainly, leave earlier. That's the biggest thing, because you're going to experience delays with school buses,
definitely.
picking up kids. You're going delays at schools. The other thing I think is buckle up and slow down. When you enter school zones, especially, we're at school zones in Odom and 341 and Joey Williamson, and we have usually 2 or 3 accidents a year. Plus, some of my guys have almost been hit a time or two. So just slow down. When you see the blue lights in the school zone, that means
You're there.
Yeah, we're
safety,
directing traffic.
slow down
basically.
and watch. Yeah, you see those blue lights and blue lights and red lights flashing. Slow down.
And the other thing, a lot of kids will be changing schools or moving up to a different school. Each school has usually specific loading and unloading zones. Become familiar with that. It'll help you a lot, so you don't get in the wrong lane, or you don't double park or back up traffic at any of the schools that we're at. Stop for school buses. I heard that yesterday. But and in Georgia, any undivided highway, you're supposed to stop for a school bus. If it doesn't have a median separating the lanes, you're supposed to stop for it.
Right.
Such as 84 north or 301 north. That's all one. You just got to turn.
You got to stop.
Yeah, you got to
stop.
stop.
Not a medium there that
doesn't matter
traffic.
which direction of travel you're going in. The other thing with school buses, I think I heard him say it yesterday, but you got that 10-foot area around a school bus. That's the most dangerous area. That's where most kids get hit, either on either side of the bus. We've had actually people try to pass them on the right. I've seen those videos. I think he mentioned that yesterday.
I can't believe that when Reggie said that yesterday.
Yeah,
Reggie said that yesterday.
Sure
that someone tried to pass a bus on the shoulder on the right-hand side. I mean, geez.
And, it's not uncommon for them to pass it on the left-hand side and almost hit kids crossing the road. But that's the other thing. If you're letting your kids off at school, try not to let them off across the street from school where they got to cross the highway, because you don't always have traffic control. But those are just some of the things we're looking for. We want it to be safe. We want our county to be safe. But some of the other things that we have done for 3 or 4 years, we've been doing walkthroughs, because every school does not have a school resource officer. Matter of fact, no school had any until last year. Then off-duty officers work in high school pretty much. But we started a program 3 or 4 years ago. Well, it was pretty much after Sandy Hook happened, where we try to do walkthroughs 2 or 3 times a day. My chief deputy came up with a better idea last year, I thought. And each of our deputies on each shift have adopted a particular school where they go and do their walkthroughs, and it's pretty much the same guys on that shift, and each shift rotation. So the kids are getting to know them, and then that's what we want to do. We want them to trust us, and then, feel comfortable with us, where they'll come tell us if they're in trouble or something.
Right.
We don't want them to be scared of us. And, that's not a good thing when parents tell them, he'll lock you up. That doesn't look good. But those are kind of things that we're doing.
Yeah.
And we do it with the private schools, the Mennonite School and the Solid Rock Academy too.
Okay. So you have, while they're on duty, you have the deputies walk through that school once a day or something like that? Is that what you're saying?
As many times as we can, usually at least twice a day.
At least twice a day, just kind of walk through?
And, we'll be out and forced the first 3 or 4 days. Of course, we don't have the resources to sustain that a long period of time, but we're going to try to, get everybody acclimated. That's our goal. We don't want anybody getting hurt. We want them to know that we're going to be there. And, of course, we train during while they're out of school, at their schools, for active shooters and other things that we do. And that's us and the Jesup Police Department. We both do that. Most of the time we do it together.
Okay. It's always good to leave about, if you're used to taking kids to school, leave about 15 minutes earlier than you normally do on the first 2 days of school, like tomorrow and Friday. There'll be so many people trying to figure out where they're going, what they're doing. So many parents will take their kids to school the first couple of days, and then, some of them will start riding the bus on Monday. So you usually have a lot more cars on the first couple of days of school. So leave about 15 minutes earlier than what you did last school season, just to make sure you're there on time and you find the right place and you don't have to hurry.
Yeah, many are going to different schools. They're moving up to, say, Jesup Elementary to Arthur Williams, or Jesup Elementary to Martha Puckett, or Odom to Martha Puckett, or Jesup. But you don't know where,
Right.
It's a different school, different environment, different way they unload and load students. And, grandparents need to get acclimated too, because if y'all like me, you have to pick them up at the end of the day sometimes.
Yeah.
Most parents drop them off on the way to work, but then grandparents, uncles, aunts, somebody picks them up in the afternoon.
Right. Bob?
Stanley Todd asked the chief of police last night the question that we had on the news about all the officers in Wayne County pretty much trained for active shooter. You just mentioned that, so your officers are trained as well. Took that course down in Fletcher.
Oh yeah, yeah. We've been to Fletcher. We've been years ago. God, I'm trying to remember how many years ago. It wasn't too long after Columbine. We had a federal grant that we got. I'm trying to remember where they came from. It was a town in Texas, though. Their SWAT team came over, and that was really the first formal training we had. We were still at the old high school, so that's been quite some time ago.
Yeah, Columbine was 20-something years ago.
Yeah, it was not too long after that, but I know we were still at the old high school.
Right.
When we did our first one, and then since then we train together. We try to go to Fletcher as much as we can, and of course I've got my training coordinator now retired from Fletcher, so we're able to get a lot of training from Fletcher through him, and we certainly appreciate that.
So there is a plan if something happens, like, in one of these schools. It's not like y'all look at each other, what are we going to do? Y'all got a plan set, you've got procedures, you've got protocol on what to do, right?
Yes, we do. But I mean, that being said, everything's going to be different.
And everything's fluid.
Whatever you train on, you can't train for everything that could happen.
Yeah.
But you try to be prepared. We try to be mentally prepared. We try to, the Stop the Bleed class that we put on for the last 2 years for teachers and us, and we all got tourniquets we carry, and that's one of the best things you can have, because most people really bleed to death, because you can't get medical people in there because we're supposed to clear it. But we've addressed that problem as of last year. We had a big active shooter event at the high school. Actually, we had some students and teachers participating with us on, different things
drill,
that we teach
right?
them. Right. It was a drill, but it was real. I mean, the sound of those brass cartridges hitting that tile floor will get your attention.
Right.
But we found out, we had them because they label them, whether he's deceased, whether he's wounded. But we had one there, and I noticed that, because I was more of an observer role, they laid there probably 20 minutes because we're taught to clear it before we bring EMS. So, I've got training combat medics now where somebody can go in and tend to that. We may have to provide cover for him. But even while the shooter's still there, before they've gotten to him, we want to start treating as quickly as we can, if it's safe to do so. and we've got some combat medics that are willing to do that are paramedics or either EMTs.
Well, the schools, most of the schools here in Wayne County, being new, it's limited access into the schools. Like, in the old days, you could just enter from anywhere. And so it makes it safer because most guests have to come through a certain point in the school to get in, correct?
Well, we had a school safety committee that we were all on, that we met several times, and we made suggestions. A lot of them have been where you can't just walk in schools in front, you get buzzed in now.
Right.
And some of the other things where we found weaknesses. And while my guys are doing this walking, and I believe the city does it too, when they go through, we're looking. We're doing basically an audit. If we find a door open, you can't do that. I mean, that's you're asking for trouble. So those are things that we look like. If we find anything, we try to write it down, and we try to get with the right people and try to get those problems corrected. But the school's done a lot to make our schools safer, and we've tried to work with them. Superintendent Jay Brinson has been excellent to work with. As some of our school board members, Nick Ellis being one of them,
right,
that we work with on these. So we're getting there, but I don't, nothing's 100%, but we, at least we're more prepared than a lot of people are.
Right. Wayne County Sheriff John Carter this morning talking about school safety, and from what you're saying now, talking about the procedures y'all have with y'all in the city and in the school system, it gives a little bit more peace of mind to the parents and family of the students that are in schools.
Well, we have a lot of things that I can't divulge because for security reasons. But we got things in place where are we going to evacuate wounded to? Where are we going to get them where they could be air evac? Where's our command post going to be? Those things we have in place now, and we're able to change that if we have to. So we're working on that. We just got a command post trailer. Actually, Rainier helped us get that.
Good.
And then we're working on getting it up, and we can use it out there because they had it. So they said, if something happens, we can't get to the trailer because it's going to be inside the mill. So we've got it, and our agreement with them is to use it out there if they need it.
Okay. And of course, the main thing is, folks, tomorrow, and especially the first 2 or 3 days of school, just be careful. Leave early. Look for these kids. They're not really looking out for you sometimes. Stop way before the bus. Either direction when the lights are flashing, and just make sure you be safe out there and slow down. It's amazing how many people I just see fly to school, just go flying past me on Highway 341, getting up to the point where your guys are at, to turn people right on Joey Williamson Road. I'm thinking, why are you driving 65, 70 up to where the cops are sitting right up there, And but I think that that warning sign that you have out there that shows you how fast you're going with the red and blue light on it really helps, because it looks like it's a policeman up there, and you get up there, and instead of just your speed flashing, it's got the red and the blue lights flashing to help say, hey, slow down, you're getting close to school area.
Bob, you itching to answer a question, I can tell.
Go ahead, Bob.
I just want to know if there's any update on we had this morning, the next of kin hasn't been notified as of this morning. Just didn't know if there's any update. Just want to make sure people know that name that they gave out on Face Crack was incorrect.
Face Crack?
Yeah. Mayor Keith used that last night. I thought it was pretty good. Instead of calling it Facebook, he calls it Face Crack. But
well, and the name you gave me that wasn't the name,
right.
But at some point in time we're gonna release it anyway. But we owe it to that family to try to. Any family would want to be notified before they see it on Facebook or on the news, and we're making every effort now. When I get in this morning, I'll find out more. I also know that the autopsy was moved to yesterday afternoon. I don't know if it's completed or if it has, what it revealed, if anything. So those are things that we're looking at.
So you're talking about the person who died on the side of the road a couple of days
right,
ago
that was
on
found
Savannah Highway.
Correct.
You have identified them, but you got to know the next of kin first before you release it. And you'll get the facts, when you listen to WIFO. You will not necessarily get them on Face Crack. And is it a local person? Can you say that?
No. This person's from somewhere around Macon, it appears.
Okay, all right.
And the other thing is, you're still looking for Michael Kenneth Blocker, the person
Senior.
for first degree arson.
Junior. We got Junior. We're looking for Senior on the arson, right?
What was Junior arrested for? He wasn't.
I'll have to get you. There's
he's not involved in the arson, is it?
No, a lot of it's entered autos and other things such as that. But there's probably 10 warrants on him now.
And speaking of entering autos, I talked to people that come to the club. There's been a rash of break-ins in automobiles. Anybody been arrested in that at this time?
Out there?
Out in the country club.
I'm not sure. We've arrested so many. We get one group stopped and another, but and there again, I tell folks, look, the majority of these folks aren't breaking windows. Their cars are unlocked. Now a lot of them, I guarantee you, if they see something valuable in there, they'll break a window. But most of the time, they look for cars unlocked because breaking windows makes too much noise. Well, I've interviewed several of them. That's what they'll tell you.
You've mentioned it many times before. Lock your doors, and then make sure you don't have anything visible that looks valuable, because they're looking for the easiest, quickest target where they can get the most for the amount of time they're involved.
And that's correct. And we're working. I'm not sure about that one, Bob. I don't know. Like I said, we've arrested a lot of them in the last 3 weeks.
Just every time I go out there to eat, people ask me.
These particular ones were out off the Rainier Road area that we're having. Yeah.
Well, it's always good to see you. Like I said, school safety. Like I said, leave early, be prepared, slow down. And I think they mentioned last night they ordered some school sign zones for the Martha Ross Smith. 25 miles an hour in the school zone, is that correct?
I'm not sure at Martha Ross Smith because we've got that's not one we specifically do. We do the walk through there, but we don't.
Some are 35, some are 25.
Speed limit in school zone. When you see those school zones, what's the speed limit?
I think the high school's 35.
It can be anywhere.
It can go down 25.
Yeah, 15 to 35 normally, depending on where
it is.
It
depends on where the school is. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, it depends on where it's at. So slow down when you see those school signs. Slow down.
Well, Scriven pretty much takes care of Scriven School. We do Odom, and we're at the intersection of Joey Williamson 341. Cause we can't get a red light, but anyway, we could be doing more, slowing them down before they ever get there if we had that ability. But a lot of people don't know you only got one deputy available for calls during that 30-minute school zone session because they're at school zone. So I don't have anybody else to do that.
Okay. Well, Sheriff, we got more guests out there in the green room. We do appreciate you coming in this morning, requesting the time to come to talk about safety for back to school beginning tomorrow here in Wayne County. And we sure you and your department and the city of Jesup and Scriven will be doing an outstanding job to help keep the kids safe out there this year.
Well, thank you. And, our kids are precious, and we want them safe. We don't want anybody hurt. And I'm sure I can't speak for the city of Jesup, but I'm sure they feel the same way.
Okay. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. More guests coming up here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show in a minute. Stay tuned.
South Georgia weather.
Here's your WIFO forecast. Good morning, some patchy fog, then a mostly sunny day. West breeze 10 to 15. 30% chance of locally heavy afternoon showers and thunderstorms, low 90s. Partly cloudy, mid-70s for tonight. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a 20% chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms, mid-90s. Friday, mostly sunny, slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, mid-90s. Saturday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Georgia meteorologist John Weatherby in the GNN Weather Center.
Teach your children to arrive at the bus stop early. Stay out of the street. Wait for the bus to come to a complete stop before approaching the street. Watch for cars and avoid the driver's blind spot. The Governor's Office of Highway Safety wishes each student a happy and safe school year.
This back-to-school safety message is brought to you by Royal Funeral Home, Calvary Baptist Church, the City of Scriven, David Deere CPA, Grimes Insurance, Harrison Real Estate, and Huddle House.
105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO. 17 minutes after 8 o'clock, and world-famous Butch and Bob Show. And, Bob, more guests here on the show.
Yeah. Mr. Stanley Todd, how you doing? Another guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Caleb Popple. I'm a nurse and also the marketing director for Hospice of South Georgia. We have an event coming up this weekend. It's be this Saturday, August the 10th at Wayne County Farmers Market. It's a kickoff cookout in reference to Camp Pope, kind of bringing awareness to Camp Pope and what we do for Camp Pope. Camp Pope this year will be on September 28th at Forest Pond Lodge. It'll be an all-day event. This actually is our 11th anniversary of Camp Pope. Mr. Stanley's been there since day one. Some of the activities that we will have for Camp Hope this year: canoeing, crafts, photo booths, jet skis, fishing, horse and buggy ride, and some inflatables. Also, each one of these kids have a one-on-one grief support counselor that's trained to be able to handle that child and to be able to help them through that hard time. Breakfast and lunch will be provided for these kids. The age range is kids grades 1 through 12 that have experienced the loss of a loved one, and so we want the kids to know that we're there for them, and we know we understand, and we want to be able to help them through that hard time.
Did you say you had something going on this weekend?
Yes, sir.
What's that?
It's a kickoff cookout.
Kickoff cookout.
Yes, sir.
And that's going to be held where?
It'll be at the farmers market across from Woody Folsom.
Okay. Now, who's invited to this kickoff cookout?
Anybody in the community.
And what is the purpose of it?
The purpose is to bring awareness to Camp Hope and what we do and what we provide.
So it doesn't have to necessarily be someone who may be thinking about going or sending their child or something like that. It's just for anybody that wants to show up and learn more about Camp Hope.
Correct.
All right.
Yes, sir. And that way, in case somebody has to use it in the near future.
Right.
And that way we bring awareness to Camp Hope and, like I say, what we provide.
So it's this Saturday?
It's this Saturday. We'll be serving free hamburgers and hot dogs.
And what time is this?
This is 11 to 2.
11 to 2?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. During the farmer market when it's open?
Correct.
Too?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We'll be stationed in the farmers market parking lot.
Okay.
Serving hamburgers and hot dogs, and like I say, we'll have volunteers there to assist anyone that has wants some information about Camp Hope. We'll have registration packets available for those who would like to go ahead and sign up.
Because it is limited. I know that y'all have a limited number of kids that you can take in each year there at Camp Hope, which will be held on September 28th.
Yes, sir.
And speaking of the farmers market, WP wants us to mention now that school's about to start, this farmers market is only open on Saturdays from this point forward.
Yes.
Instead of Friday and Saturday, just Saturdays. Stan, I like how he was politically correct. He said from day one. He didn't mention many years.
Not all those years, just from day one.
He did well. He said he's been there since
Absolutely.
day one.
I appreciate Caleb. He's an aspiring guy. He is doing a good job for us. And yeah. But I tell you what, he's got it going on, and we are so thankful for Camp Hope. It's you know what, I am just so thankful to work with this organization. I work with Hospice of South Georgia. It is just to know that all the different things that we offer in this community. It's not just the hospice care that we provide, but things such like Camp Hope that we've been doing for years now that help children walk through that time of loss. And you know, listen, children grieve. They're no different than we are as adults. They're going to grieve, and it's important that we recognize that and then give them that opportunity to express that grief and share that grief. And that's what Camp Hope does, and a tremendous way of giving children that opportunity to share how they feel, talk about how they feel, open up to their loss. And you know what, if a child is not given that chance to do it in a productive way, they'll find an unproductive way to do it. And so grief can come out in ways we don't want it to come out, maybe, you know, in their schoolwork or
behavior,
just behavioral issues. And so Camp Hope it gives tools to these children and students that be able to learn how to deal with their and cope with their grief in successful ways. And so I'm thanking Caleb and all of our staff who work hard and are working hard this year to make sure that we're going to have another successful event.
It's been going on for quite a many years, the Camp Hope has.
We started in some very meager beginnings. I remember our first camp out off of 203, and it was a very precious time, really. Those children that came, those kids, the students that came, not knowing what to expect, but just knowing they needed to be there, and some not wanting to be there, but parents knowing that they needed to be there. And that's the thing, too. Some parents will ask us, well, how do I get my child to go to Camp Hope? I know they need to be there. And I say, well, how do you get them to school? I mean, you're the parent. You make them do these things. Yeah. And so there was one lady in particular who said, who got her 3 grandchildren to Camp Hope one year, and you could tell by looking at the expression of those girls when they got there that they did not want to be there. But by the time that camp was through, those 3 girls were very impressed. They were so helped, and they were asking, can we come back next year to help again, or help. So it's just a very productive thing that we do, and allowing children to grieve is very, very important. I tell you what children deal with. They do grieve, and they hurt when mama dies or daddy dies or an aunt dies or grandmother dies. Grief is real. But children need to be reassured that they're going to be okay. They do. Children need to know that I'm going to be okay. I'm going to miss mom, but who's going to take care of me? And so we help them understand that these things that they're concerned about, they're going to be taken care of and reassured. And so a lot of different things like that happen during Camp Hope.
And you have the great counseling and the guidance during Camp Hope, but the kids also have fun doing fun activities. It's a kind of combination of both.
We do. We have such great leadership. I'm so thankful for people like Tony Ray, our administrator, who sold out to this idea, and our staff is so well developed, so very capable, and then we bring in people that are very well versed and trained in grief and support. This year, we're looking forward to having some very specialized people be a part of our camp that are not from Wayne County, but outside of Wayne County, but who are very well trained and educated to help kids through this journey. So, oh yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, I know y'all said many good stories about it through the years. Camp Hope being held on September 28th, still held over at that facility over in Long County, right?
That's right, at Forest Pond Lodge, and we're thankful for those owners of that lodge who give us that opportunity every year to do that. And again, it's something they contribute toward the cause. We don't have to pay an expense to do that, so it helps us put our monies in other places to provide resources for the kids. But Caleb, tell us again about this Saturday. It's to also let people come and register, right?
Yes. We'll have registration packets on hand there that day, so you can go ahead
at the farmers market this Saturday, 11 to 2, right?
Yes, sir. So the registration packets will be there, provided we're holding registration all the way up until September 23rd. That way we have a accountable amount of kids that we need to provide for. So we'll have registration packets on hand, and
just information for folks that want to know about Camp Hope too.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
And if they cannot make it this Saturday, our office is open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5, right there across from the ball field at 1625 Sunset Boulevard. We're there and willing to help in any way we can, and grief support.
Yeah,
Stanley.
So also another thing that opportunity that we provide through our organization is a grief support group, and this is another area of concern that we find so very important, and to address it, to make sure that people who are going through loss or grief find a way of getting the support that they need. And so this coming Monday, August 12th, we begin our next group of grief support. It's going to start at 6 o'clock. It's at our office on 1625 Sunset Boulevard, which is right across from Bill Morris Park. And usually it goes for about an hour. It's according to how many people are in attendance and how talkative those are that come. But it's just a great time to allow people to come to a very comfortable setting to talk about what they've experienced over the loss of a loved one. And so that's this coming Monday, and it's a 9-week setting. We do it every Monday evening at 6 o'clock for 9 weeks. Those 9 weeks fly by, and I know people that need to come often. It's taking that first step, just that first step, just coming that first meeting, that first session is very, very difficult. But that's making a step in the right direction. And once people do come, they find out, wow, this is good, and it's great that I'm having this opportunity to come and share how I feel.
Well, this is the grief support group that begins this coming Monday.
That's right, this coming Monday.
And it starts at 6 at Hospice of South Georgia on Sunset Boulevard from Bill Morris. How do folks find out more information about it?
They can call our office at 588-0080. If they want to call me at 294-1480, I'll be glad to speak to them myself and share with them. Been doing this for quite some time, and I tell you, every time that I help facilitate this group, it's a learning experience for me. And so it never grows old. It's one of those things that we continue to grow and learn from. So we certainly invite those who have lost, and it doesn't have to be complicated grief. I mean, we all associated with death and loss, and so if you've lost a loved one and you just want some support, you just need a way to talk about how you feel, you're invited to come and be a part of our group.
They can come to 2, 3, 4 sessions, or just come to all.
Absolutely,
9 of them.
Yeah, that's right. It's sort of
doesn't matter.
It is like a drop-in type situation, and you don't have to call. You can just come. And some people will come and go through all 9 weeks, and then later on they'll come back and go through it again. It's just one of those things that you do. I tell you, it's a funny thing about grief. You don't get over it. You don't get over it. You don't get over a loss, and so don't think that way. Just think that I'm going to try to make this a part of my life and move on, because that's the highest tribute I can pay to that one that's going on, is for me to learn how to continue to live my life. And so yeah, it's a setting where you can come once, you can come all 9 weeks, or however you feel comfortable.
All right, in the studio right now, Caleb Popple and Stanley Todd with Hospice of South Georgia on Sunset Boulevard across from Bill Morris Park. Anytime that y'all need to come on to promote events or talk about anything, just let us know and we'll have you on the show, okay?
Thank you very much.
Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
All right. WIFO FM in Jesup, 105.5 on your FM dial, Big Dog Country Radio. World famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Nips Car Wash, located on Highway 301 South, just past McDonald's there on the left-hand side. Also brought to you by Sachero's Restaurant, located in the Piggly Wiggly Shopping Center on West Cherry Street, and by Murphy Builder Supply, located on Northeast Forest Street in downtown Jesup.
The world famous Butch and Bob Show.